Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are all doing well. It was only when I was editing this video that I realized I hadn't even said hello or done any kind of intro. I just picked up my camera and started filming. But yeah, this video is a little bit busy. I'm giving you updates on the house. The hall is painted, the ceiling in the living room is painted, and I'll be showing you that in the video. We're also going to be staining the stair banister, finally staining the stair banister in this video. And then, oh my goodness me, because this is after the fact that I'm doing an intro, I was hoping to get around to building my very own console table for the hallway, something rough. I mean, everything on this channel is going to be rough. If you're new here, hi, my name's Claire. I don't do anything perfectly. So if that's your kind of thing, stick around because you'll have fun here. Yeah, I got a new tool called a pocket hole jig, and it basically enables you to build furniture, and I've been itching to try it. And I thought, you know what, let's just make something. We'll make it together, and that is also in this video. So it's a bit of a busy video. Weirdly, I wasn't sure if I filmed much this week, but I actually filmed quite a lot. So yeah, I really hope you enjoy, and I'll see you at the end. So there is a lot happening here in this house in the next week. I found someone to come and put a new radiator in for us. I need to get rid of this radiator cover, take this mirror off the wall. I need to paint the entire hallway. He said, don't wait for me to come. You might as well just paint, and then you can just paint around the new radiator because it will be smaller than this one, but taller. So I might as well paint the wall now. This is what the hallway is looking like. I'm still utterly in love with it. You'll know that in today's video, we are going to stain the handrail, the banister of the stairs. But yeah, there's a lot happening. The first thing I need to do right now is get this radiator cover out of here. I'm actually going to put the radiator cover up against the kitchen radiator because it will work, but I do need to unscrew the whole thing and make it smaller. Then I need to finish scraping this. We need to sand it all down. We need to stain it. But I'll be honest, I don't show the scraping and the sanding process in this video because I just think, like, how much do you really want to see? Do you know what I mean? How much do you really want to see? But this all needs to be clear, and then we can crack on. This radiator cover, I'm not gonna lie, it's massive. It's absolutely massive, but I do need to start unscrewing all the panels so that I can make it smaller so that it will fit in the kitchen. The radiator is ugly, and guys, you won't believe what happened. It literally fell apart on me. It fell apart on me. I was underneath it as well. I was unscrewing it to make it go smaller because it's an adjustable, and it was literally rotten. It's 8 years old. All of the screws gave out. The wood basically fell apart. So that has now gone into the garden, ready for the day when we get a skip. This is what we're looking like. The radiator is old, it is fugly, it is rusting out at the bottom, but the best part is when we get a new radiator, it's gonna be half the size of this. So I actually measured this. This is a 6 foot long radiator, and we're getting a new radiator that is only 3 to 4 feet. So it's going to just open up the whole entire hallway, and I'm going to be able to make it look so pretty. But guys, check this out. This pipe, this pipe to this day never got painted. This red pipe was the same color as the hallway. So the previous owners, again, no hate to them, I love the color red. The whole entire hallway of the downstairs of this house was this bright Spider-Man red when we bought this house. And yeah, when you get down there and realize, oh, I never actually painted that pipe, but like, who can see it? Who knows? And of course, we've got all these dark marks where it used to be. And so yeah, lots and lots to do. I just thought I'd throw this in because your girl has been eating a lot of porridge lately. This is my go-to breakfast right now with berries, porridge, nuts and seeds. Who do I think I am? I also did the living room ceiling. Again, not something I filmed, but I wanted to show you guys. If you've been with me a while, you'll know we had the bathroom leak. It all came down through the living room ceiling, leaving these long, really long yellow brown water stains on the ceiling of our living room. Now, of course, if we do go on to sell this house, that is something that is going to be noticeable and it has to go. So I did use the Zinsser the Zinsser bin primer to be able to paint over the top so the stains will never come through and we'll never see them. I was hoping for a miracle, and I was hoping that the Zinsser bin would just cover them and I wouldn't need to paint the ceiling, but I ended up having to paint the ceiling. Luckily, this actual kind of like paint drop cloth fit the entire floor. This is what we were looking like directly after painting. I didn't just have to paint the ceiling though. I had to paint all of the coving, and I had to come down to the blue line and paint the entire room out in the white paint, because once that ceiling was white, the walls looked yellow. This is what we're looking like a week on, and it is stunning, guys, stunning. Not a single mark can be seen. Sorry for the flickering there, but that's just my camera. But I have about 20 minutes before Tim gets back with George. I asked Tim to take George out for a solid hour so that I could sand these banisters, hoover, mop, do all of the things, then have a shower and sawdust myself. And I've just had the everything shower. Feels amazing. But the staircase, this is how we are looking on the staircase. I cannot even tell you how happy I am. It is not perfect. Listen, I have no doubt that in a few years time someone's going to find my channel and they're going to write a comment saying, we bought your house, the stairs were crap. So I don't know what I'm doing. I have never done this before, but hey, we are here. So I scraped the stairs with the carbide scraper. If you guys remember, I used the backhoe carbide scraper for my kitchen worktops that you can see through there. Did an amazing job. Then I used it on the windowsill to get paint off. Even better. So I figured I would scrape the whole banister using the backhoe. Did an incredible job. Massive mess. But seriously, all that paint, I'm trying to put it behind me without looking, all of that paint came off like a dream. There were just tricky areas that I just could not reach in here with the backhoe. Even though the handle does come off, I couldn't get in here. So I did use some of that eco paint remover. Do you guys remember I went to B&Q and got some eco-friendly, non-toxic, doesn't smell of anything, eco paint remover? And I thought, that's not going to work. You know when you just feel like you need toxic, you need toxic. Unreal. I fully recommend it. So I actually dolloped it on, like I layered it on. It's really thick white goo. So I was able to layer it on thick. Then I wrapped the whole banister, just this area. I wrapped it in cling film and left it overnight. Now, I don't think you're meant to leave it overnight, but hey, here we are, we're trying it. And the next day I got a paint scraper and I'm telling you, it just fell off. But the mess was real. So when you remove paint with a product, it's just really, really gooey and gloopy and sticky. And I think I would just prefer trying to sand it off. But yes, so far so good. So I used the backhoe and then I used the paint remover on just small sections. Also on the acorn. I mean, it's not really an acorn, but I called it an egg earlier. Tim was like, do you mean the acorn? I was like, how is that an acorn? It's not. But anyway, so I used the paint remover on here as well. Again, I haven't done a very good job under here. I can't get under here. I tried getting under here with the backhoe and I'm taking chunks out of the wood. So I wrapped this whole area in the paint remover, wrapped it in cling film, saran wrap for those not in the UK, and left it overnight. And what a dream. And I'm only meaning these areas. The rest I could get off with the backhoe, but these areas here were stubborn. Oh my goodness me. I love it so much. Then, so I sanded 80 grit to start with, because using the carbide scraper is great and all, but you see this is end grain. So around here, I'm guessing this is like end grain. So you use the carbide scraper with the grain. Just zooming out for you. Use the carbide scraper with the grain of the wood. So the top of it was perfect. As soon as I got round the side, it was chunking. It was literally wood tear out all the way down here. So I did have to start on 80 grit sanding, and I sanded this to within an inch of its life with the 80 grit. Then after that, I went in with the 120, and then I finished on the 220. I finished on the 220. I don't know if you can hear this because my washing machine's going, but listen to this. Oh, it's so smooth. It is so smooth. Same up here. This was a super fiddly little area, so I used the eco paint remover. I got in there, left cling film on overnight, and job is a good one. We're not going to talk about underneath because underneath looks so bad, but listen, until someone finds my channel and knows that I did this job, it doesn't matter because the top looks good. As long as the top looks good and they're going to walk in here and they're going to be like, oh, this is pretty, then that's okay with me. I am not going to take off any more of this paint. I'm happy with just the acorn and the hand railing. So now I'll show you the products. When it comes to wood stain, I'm not very clued up. I don't really know what I'm looking at. I just go by what colour I like. And again, I wasn't thinking about whether it was an oil or a gel stain or what I've got, just a wood stain. I wasn't putting too much thought into it. So B&Q sell a stain called a Village Green, a brand called Village Green. So this is the stain I have purchased. This is the Village Green wood stain for interior use, and it is in the colour Gunstock. It is beautiful, and of course the more layers you put on, the more colour you get. Like, I'm not going to go crazy dark on this. I just want a nice warm woody colour. I'm not a fan of oak stains. I've tried an oak stain back in the day and it was so orange, I didn't like it. And then I bought a, oh, what's it called? Not mahogany, but a dark walnut. Oh my gosh, walnut stain. Stunning. But because this is pine, I already knew this piece of information. What is it the kids say? I love that for me. I already knew that because this is pine, putting stain directly onto pine can leave the wood looking blotchy. This is just something I picked up over the years of being into this kind of thing, but not knowing anything about stain. You get me. So basically, when it comes to staining pine, you want to sand it back to the correct grit, and then you want to apply a pre-stain conditioner. And this is the one I got. I got the Furniture Clinic again. Oh, also these are from B&Q, purchasable from B&Q, but I didn't I didn't want to wait 3 to 4 days for delivery, so I went straight over to Amazon, found them both on Amazon, exactly the same price. They came that night. When I tell you I ordered them at 10 a.m. and it said next day by 1, I was like, yeah, cool, I'm not rushing to do this job. They came at about 7 o'clock that night and I have not touched them since, and it's been about a week. Your brain tells you that you're gonna do something, so you're so fast to get the fastest option, but actually I haven't touched them since. So I could have easily just gone down the B&Q route. There's just something in your brain that says Amazon is fast and convenient. Anyway, so I got the Furniture Clinic pre-stain wood conditioner to stain the banister and the acorn before I put the stain on. This is like a 10-minute dry. So you put this on with a foam brush and you allow it, I think you rub it in, rub it off. I'm gonna read the instructions. And then you leave it around 10, I think anywhere between 10 minutes to 1.5 to 2 hours, you can put your stain on. So I'll probably leave it 10-15 minutes before I stain. Here's the thing, here's the thing. The amount of videos I've watched on staining wood now, just so I can kind of get it in my head, like I think I know what I'm doing. They all say to use the same brand in conditioner and stain. So like I should have got the Village Green pre-stain conditioner, but I didn't know that at the time, so I didn't. And this is not going back to Amazon. So tough. We're going to use what we've got and just hope for the best. And I think the only reason they say that really is so that the colour you're expecting to get from this is the colour that they've got from it because they've used the same brand conditioner. Tomato. I mean, I'm just going to go with it. We're going to roll with it. We are sanded. We are done. The egg is sanded. The banister is sanded. Feels... The other thing I really want to get done in this video, if possible, is to make a little shelf unit here. Now, this is not me saying, here's how to make a shelf unit. I have never in my life ever made a shelf unit. ever. This is a first. But you guys would have seen I bought a pocket hole jig. I'm so excited to use it. I can't wait until I'm good at something. I need to practice, and I need to practice now. I've got some scrap, well, it's not scrap wood, but I've got some really cheap wood that I bought at a what do you call them? A car boot sale. They were going to be shelves for the bathroom, but I've changed my mind. So now I'm going to try and make a unit that's going to go here today in this video. In this video, it doesn't matter how the finish is. I'm not saying I'm going to make it perfectly perfect, but I really want to play with my pocket hole jig and just put something together and just look at it and think, I made that. Now what can I do to improve on that? Etc. etc. Okay, finally time to get this handrail done. So you can see me here, I'm using a foam brush to apply the pre-stain conditioner. This was a really easy process. I just made sure that I covered every millimeter of sanded wood. The instructions on this pre-stain conditioner were to lather it, get it on there, generously. You can put it on quite generously, and once you've put it on, use a lint-free cloth to remove excess. So really straightforward instructions, and I quite like that when I don't know what I'm doing. So again, going over with my foam brush, making sure that every millimeter of that sanded wood has been fully coated in the pre-stain conditioner before using a lint-free cloth to wipe it all off. And then you need to leave it anywhere between 10 minutes and 2 hours. I did read the instructions on it. 10 minutes to 2 hours before you go in with your stain. I left it around an hour before I stained, and I'm going to shake my stain, pour it into this cup, use my gloves, and I'm going to apply the stain with a lint-free cloth. And this is where my soul left my body. Do you remember when I said I didn't want a dark stain? This stain to me went straight in with walnut mahogany vibes. Like, I knew I had to rub some off, so I wasn't panicking at this point, because once you apply your stain, you do then have to rub off. It's like a wax on, wax off system, but it was dark. It was so much darker than I thought, so much darker than the photos showed. Again, what wood were they using in the photos? You know, it might not have been pine, but I figured let's just rub this off with the lint-free cloth and see how I'm feeling about it afterwards. And I was not loving it. I straight away noticed all of my flaws. Like, let's be honest, this is at home with Claire. Nothing I ever do is going to be perfect. I'm okay with that. So you need to be too if you're going to hang around here. If you're going to stay, just know nothing will ever be perfect. But instead of kind of like questioning everything, I decided to persevere and see it through and do the rest of the banister. But yeah, all of my shoddy sanding jobs, like where I didn't quite get in all the nooks and crannies to get that white paint, was really starting to show at this point. And yeah, I carried on. I carried on regardless. There's a song in there, isn't there? Carried on regardless. Anyway, so I carried on with the stain, and then, oh my goodness, as soon as I wiped it off with the lint-free cloth, tell me why it's not coming off. Like, I didn't hang around either. I literally started to rub the stain off as soon as I put it on, and it had a completely different response to the acorn. So at this point I realised maybe they're two completely different woods or two different sections. Maybe the acorn is a lot more end grain or not. I really don't know. The only option here was to put a second coat on the acorn to try and bring it to any kind of similar kind of shade as the banisters. Not very successfully. Honestly, I was like, why? Look at this. Why is it so dark? I didn't want a stain this dark. Ooh, and I have finished the hallway painting. I totally forgot to talk about this earlier in the video. Last week, in the week, I didn't film it. I finished painting the entire hallway up the stairs, and the landing upstairs is all painted in that brand new elephant's breath. So this is me just showing you. Back to the banister. Not loving it. When the light is off, it kind of matches my brand new jute twine lampshade, but still not very nice. The only option for me at this point was to sand it back. Not sand it off, just sand it back. I figured I can't go through all of the steps. I watched multiple videos on how to lighten wood stain. I was even thinking whitewash. Do I put a whitewash on it? I can't live with this colour, I can't. Yeah, excuse my camera angles here, but this was me panicking. After about 30 minutes, I was like, I cannot deal with the darkness of this. And let me tell you something. As soon as I started sanding this back, I was taking chunks of the stain off, and it definitely gave me more of a rustic farmhouse vibe. And it's not that I was going for farmhouse, I wasn't, but it was giving me more of that nice, natural, warm, wooden tone. And oh my goodness me, so happy at this point because I could have cried. Now I'm obsessed. Now, oh my god, stop. Now I am obsessed. So this is what it was looking like just after I stained it and I sanded it back, and this is what we've got. There is a stark difference. It's definitely brought it back down to that warm, woody tone that I was looking for. So happy. We cannot ignore the fact that my sanding job was rotten. Everything was bad. I could have easily spent another 10 years sanding this back. It was time to make my console table. So this wood, guys, bargain of the century. I went to a car boot sale with my partner's daughter's husband, just me and him. He's very much into his boot sales, and I was like, can I please come? I love a boot sale. Haven't ever really been to a proper one. This one was massive, and there was this whole area where they were just selling wood. Guys, guess right now in your head, I got 2 of these planks. Wish I got 10. 2 of these planks. Guess how much I paid for 1 plank of wood at the car boot sale? £1. £1. Stop it now. I've had them sitting in the house for around 5 months, and it is finally time to use them. I just need to be clear here. Health and safety hat on. Do not copy me. Do not copy anything I do here. This is not the best way to do it. Working on your old tumble dryer. Oh, forgot to tell you, my tumble dryer died last week. Yep, that's a thing. It's now sitting in the garden waiting for the rag and bone man to come and get it. We're going to put it out the front next week. But this is not the best way to work. Do not do this. This is really not the safest option, but it's all I have. I don't have any sawhorses. I don't have a proper big workshop, so don't. Anything but dark brown. Anything but dark brown. And I got the darkest brown. So yeah, I wiped the stain on. I basically used a lint-free cloth to wipe the stain on. Right. And then, oh, it was so dark. Immediately I was like, what do I do? Too late. So I carried on thinking, you've got to kind of like wipe it on, wipe it off, haven't you? Yeah. Once I wiped it off, no, big mistake. So I was sitting there thinking, what do I do? And I watched all these videos on how to lighten stain. Look at that. So I just got the sandpaper, sanded it all the way back. Not all the way back, but like I just got the sandpaper. Yeah. Oh, I love it. Oh, it's beautiful. Absolutely. I couldn't have asked for a better finish. Well, no. Scrap that. The finish could be 1,000 times better. A better colour. Right. When it came to measurements, I really just used as much of the wood as I could. To be honest, I cut 3 shelves. So the top, the bottom and the middle actually, just so technically just 1 shelf. And they are all 20 inches along across. And then both sides, I literally cut 1 plank directly down the middle. I did trim off some of the ends because the ends were a little bit dodge. Once the ends were cut and I had nice clean ends, I then measured directly down the center of the plank, and that is where I cut. I mean, it was about as easy as I could do. And again, I've never made anything. This was really just me having a play around with my pocket hole jig. So again, I just want to alliterate. Guys, what is wrong with me? Just be safe if you're using power tools. They are not toys at all. So be safe and don't rest your circular saw on an old tumble dryer. I'll be honest, I would have done it in my shed, but it's like, it's just too difficult. It was like -3 degrees right now, and I just wanted to get the job done. So don't be like me, don't copy me, don't do anything you see me doing here. This is all at my own risk, and I'm a fool. But I got the job done, and it was okay. I was as safe as I could be, and when I use my circular saw, I cut very, very slowly. But this is what it's looking like. I'm absolutely loving it. I gave them just a bit of a light sand. Again, I'm going for rustic. I'm not going for perfection. This is my pocket hole jig in my beautiful shadow foam box that I've just recently made. I work with shadow foam over on my other channel, so yeah, that was one of my latest projects for shadow foam. Okay, the jig itself. The unit you can see here, the handle is movable, and I'm going to need to move it back. The wood I've got is quite deep, and I had this handle set for like a thin plywood type thing, so I have to move the handle back. Now, if you want to know more about pocket hole jigs and how to use them, I will definitely recommend searching on YouTube. This is definitely not a video of how to use it because I'm brand new here. You want to be able to clamp your wood in between that little doobie that I'm spinning and where your drill goes in to drill the pocket holes in your wood. You want to be able to clamp your wood. Right now, I'm not able to clamp it, so you just want to go back and forth and test the clamp. You want it to be tight. So again, I'm just turning this disc here, which comes out, and the more I turn it, the tighter it becomes. And I'm testing it with my wood, so I'm putting my wood back in, I'm pulling up the lever, and you want it to be a click, so you want it to click in place. Right now I've done it too far and it's not going anywhere, so you really just want to play around until you can clamp your wood. So right here you can see the handle goes all the way down. There's like a click, like a little click here. It goes all the way down, and it is now clamping my wood. However, it's not tight enough. You want it to be a nice, firm, tight grip so that that wood does not move when you drill your pocket holes. And honestly, I have wanted one of these for so long. I think it cost me around £70, 60, maybe 60 to £70 on Amazon, and it came with all of the bits that you need to be able to drill your holes and everything. So here you see me, I've just got it. It's a perfect click. It's a nice firm click. One more quarter turn to get it like a tight clip, and you can see me here. I'm just about to push the lever down, and that is job done. That wood is not going anywhere now, so when I drill my hole, I know I have got that as secure as possible. Now, I've only rested it on another piece of wood just to save my worktop from the pocket hole because it's a sharp metal object. Now, as for the drill bit is different to any drill bit you've ever seen. It's got a really narrow point on it, and that's what's going to create the tunnel for your screw to go down in. Just attach it to your drill, and you want your drill to be on the lowest setting, so setting 1 or setting 2. And then when you start to drill your hole in your pocket hole jig, don't just drill straight down. You want to drill in, pull it out, drill back in, pull it out. Sorry for the shaky right here right now, but it does get better, I promise. Again, I'm not a professional, okay? So yeah, so you get the gist. You don't want to drill straight down and straight in. You want to keep on pulling that drill bit out to release the sawdust. Otherwise, you could really damage your drill bit, but also you could really block all the cavities that are holding that sawdust, and you don't want to do that. So again, I'm just going over to drill my other part, and then I'm going to clamp the wood in place, and it is set. And here we go again. So when you drill once, pull back, drill down, pull back, drill down, pull back. You can see the sawdust at the bottom. It's able to escape, and also you're able to clear that kind of area every time you pull back on the drill bit. Don't just go straight in on a pocket hole jig. That's just something I've learned from YouTube. You're welcome. And this is what they look like. These are your pocket holes. What this is going to do is they're going to hide your screws, so no one's really going to see unless they get down on the floor and look up, no one's gonna see how you have built your unit and how it was put together in the first place. So yeah, a really nifty little tool, and I'll be honest, easy to use. I was so intimidated by this. I cannot tell you, I've been putting this off for weeks. I've had this tool ages. But if I can use it, you can use it. And if I can build anything, then you can build anything. Because trust me, this is my first time ever making anything with it. So I was excited. The one thing I will say is to concentrate, really concentrate, because right here on the right hand side you can see a pocket hole that's not meant to be there. So concentrate. Right now it's time to attach all of my pieces of wood. So I'm attaching the top of the unit to the side leg. What you need is leverage. You need something to pin it up against, because if you just try it like this, it's gonna come apart. You're not gonna have the strength, trust me, the body strength to actually drill the screw in and keep two pieces of wood together at the same time. Now, Vicky, the carpenter's daughter here on YouTube, she's a friend of mine. She did give me the tip of leaning it up against a 90-degree wall, so flat against a wall will give you the leverage you need. However, I don't really have much flatness. There's not much flatness in this house, so I did invest in some clamps, and these are the Irwin clamps. Again, this was a recommended clamp from Vicky, the carpenter's daughter, a couple of years ago now. She recommended these, but I've only just bought them. And look at this. Oh, I did it. Let me tell you, when I was screaming inside, I was screaming inside because I had achieved something as simple as using a tool to create something myself. I cannot tell you what a buzz it is. It fills me, and it will fill you too. If you feel like you want to do this, this is what we're looking like. You will get a buzz out of it, I'm telling you. This is what we're looking like. So that is the top. They are the two legs that are coming either side. Now it's time to put my shelf in there, but not in the middle. I don't want it in the middle. I want a little section at the top. And the only way for me to really do this to get it nice and square is to use my build a square here, just to make sure everything is at a 90-degree angle. But I'll be honest, it was easier for me to lay down these spare pieces of paneling that I got from B&Q, lay them flat, and then just wedge the wood up against them, just to make sure that left and right are the same. I used a measuring tape, I marked with pencils, but this wood is so drunk, it's so warped. Like, I got it from an outdoor laying on the grass boot sale. The wood itself is not straight, so it is hard to build things when the wood itself is not straight. But hey, that method worked the best. I then clamped it in place, used my drill to screw those screws into my pocket holes, and then it was time to attach the base. And look at this. Stop it now. Again, let me just reiterate. That's the word. I got the word. Let me reiterate. This is wonky, okay? First time I've ever done anything like this. The wood is warped. The wood is not straight. This whole entire piece will need to be sanded back, and I will be putting a completely different top on it. So that won't be the top that you see when you walk in, but so proud. So proud. And not only that, my cuts, look at this. Look how flat this is. It doesn't wobble. Check it out. When I touch it, I fully don't follow me, guys. Listen. Look at this. Look how sturdy this is. Because when you get your cuts right, this is solid. This doesn't move. Look. It's about as wonky as it gets. Hi, it is Intro Claire again, because guess what? I never filmed an outro. I am rubbish at this vlogging. Oh, one day I'll be a really good vlogger. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. Oh my gosh, that console, it is so rough. It is so rough. But do you know what? I figured, you know, after sanding it, I'm going to sand it. Even if it takes me 60 years, I'm going to sand it down a little bit more than I did, and just make the finish on it a little bit nicer before I go in with the stain. I am going to use the same stain as I used on the stair banister, just to really tie them in together. And that's just gonna, it's so narrow, it's gonna really open up the hallway. The current console we have is yay deep, and the new console is this, it's a nice shallow little console. Might have to secure it somehow against the wall. Not quite sure yet. Or just put something really heavy on the bottom, like a plant or something like that. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the video. We got a lot done in the last week and a half, and I guess I just didn't film everything. You know, painting the ceiling in the living room was quite an intimidating task, but when I finally did it, I loved it. So not as bad as I thought it was going to be, but I couldn't quite get my head around how I was just gonna film it and get the job done. Painting the ceiling was just, how much do you want to see? Do you know what I mean? How much do people want to see? I would find that quite boring, but maybe if I was watching you do it, I wouldn't be bored at all. I'd love it. So yeah, I don't know. Do you want to see all the things? Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video.